What is up? It's Tuesday. Gentlemen Gaming, podcast of
Yeah.
the week.
The cool thing is we had no problems today.
We have serious audio issues, guys. You might be hearing an echo. We might be moving our lips, and you can't tell that we're talking. We're trying to fix it. We had some friends reach out to try to help us, and things, boomers should not be doing podcasts. That's what Daniel said. And I think it's a quote for a T-shirt. At this point, we have so many quotes for T-shirts and 0 T-shirts provided. So not really sure what we're doing here. We're failing our audience, and I feel sad about that. I really do. And if you were wondering what today's podcast is about, it's about Brad looking very confused because he was reading James Carmona's list and he said, "Bro, that list is trash.
There's so much a lie.
I don't understand how anyone's losing to that list." And Brad was like, "I'm going to coach everyone to be better than this because Carmona can't be winning with such trash." That's what happened off stream, off air.
I love that you consistently tell people shit with a serious face, and I say like all this crazy shit when I am literally the diplomat at 40K. And you're like,
Brad is the best.
I also heard it. First we trashed his food, and then the subway stuff, and then we trashed.
There's only been one person truly mad at Brad to the point where Brad has had to apologize, and he's on this podcast right now. So that's the only human being in the world that actually got mad at Brad, because Brad is the definition of a good friend. I will say that out loud. I will admit that on this cast. He is a legit dude. Usually I say nice things about people, but then behind their back I talk mad shit. Brad is the kind of guy that is genuine and just doesn't talk shit ever and never says anything bad about anyone. So I really appreciate that about Brad. So it was really peculiar today when he was just shitting all over James Carmona. It was weird.
I was waiting for the setup for this. I was just like waiting. Like there's going to be some way that I'm going to get bust. I don't know what it is yet, but...
So, but yeah, no, I think today's podcast is a special one. We still got COVID going on, no events currently, although a lot of really cool events in the works, that I think people should get excited about. But today's podcast is all about judging an approach or judging an army list without actually trying it on the tabletop. And I'm guilty of this. How about you guys?
Yeah. But also, basically, when things come out, a lot of times, people are so quick to either say a unit, an army, codex is either garbage or OP without having played one game with it or against it.
Mortarion is broken.
I'll just do a thing real quick. I'll give the unpopular opinion, maybe. I've been playing Death Guard because I'm playing it in this tournament that I'm playing in the Greek Hammer TTS Team Deathmatch Kung Fu Master tournament. I'm positive that's the name of the tournament. And I'm currently using Morty in my Death Guard. And we basically can change lists after the first 2 games of 5. And I'm going to take him out. He's overpriced for what he does. There's too many armies that could just pick him up. I think he wins. He's a win more because the things that he does really well against, the rest of your army already does well against. And that's my opinion on that. And I think people have just been losing their shit when he first came out. Oh my God, making 4,000 points. He's like ridiculous. And I'm not really sure I want him in my army. You know what I mean? So
it's the classic problem with all big guys, right? People get very hyped about them, but that one model doesn't win a game. So if you can pick everything else apart, which is easier if you invest 500 points into a model, then you could, in some sense, ignore that model and still win the game.
Right. I mean, he doesn't even have... I mean, his output's nice, but... I mean, I just played a game where Sisters got 3 wounds through, and they went, hey, I'm going to use these 2 miracle dice and then just roll a 5. Take 23 damage. You think he can make that many Philno Pains? Now he's dead? Cool. I'm going to continue on with my turn.
Sounds good, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I admit that last week we talked about, like, what army list would you take if you had a tournament this week. If you guys didn't check that out, it's on YouTube and Facebook, our Facebook group. So join the channel, subscribe, and you can see what our 3 lists were and what that trash list per Brad Chester that James Carmona brought up was. But I honestly thought that Daniel's list was trash. And I thought it was really funny that he was bringing up conscripts on the podcast. And I was like, hey, man, 7th edition called and they want you to come back and like figure out what your life plan is. But how's that list doing, Daniel? What's our update?
It's 3-0 so far. So I beat Sisters of Battle miserably. I wiped them turn 2.
Yeah.
I had a very tight game against Space Marines. I think I would win bigger if I went first, but I went second and still managed to pull out a small win. And then I killed Tyranids, but the Tyranid list wasn't super competitive, I don't think. So it's hard to say. But it feels like it has the tools. I'm loving conscripts with 4-up Invo and Fearless. It's just
And just so our audience is aware, right? So the way Daniel gets into his test games is he goes to the local games workshop in Sweden and plays that kid that just found the red stick, and they're like evaluating kind of like what what it is to play miniature wargaming. That's who he's playing. That's who he's 3-0 against. Yeah. I just want to make sure that's clear, because that's the level of caliber, level of talent in Sweden. So that's kind of who Daniel's playing. So, but keep going, Daniel.
No, it feels like it has the tools I need to have to win the game. So
what surprised you? Okay, let's do two things real quick, because we're this whole podcast is about that list is trash, and I think your list is the definition of where this happens. So can you do two things for me? One, quickly go through the list for our viewers today, and then two, give us what you think was the most surprising thing out of the games you played, like when you actually put the list on the tabletop. Do that real quick.
So, quick flyover. It's 85 conscripts, 2 Demolisher tank commanders with multi-melta sponsons, 2 full payload manticores, 2 vulture gunships with the strength 5 vulture cannon or whatever it's called. It's Koteas, a Primaris Psyker, and then there's 15 AdMech horses and techs here. Those 15 AdMech horses, if you want to play it clean, could easily be Death Corps of Krieg horses. They're going to do more or less exactly the same thing. And I don't know. It feels like I have all the tools. That was sort of, and the conscripts with 4-up Invo and 2-up save are extremely resilient for 5 points.
Did anything surprise you, like your internet connectivity? Anything else? Did anything else surprise you? Left you frozen in place while playing the game and evaluating kind of, wow, this list is actually pretty good.
Are you complaining about my archipelago internet again?
Yep. I am definitely complaining about your internet again, but that's okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, no surprises really. It worked as I intended it. I was maybe a bit surprised how very ineffectual vulture gunships are against Space Marines. It was literally, I did nothing.
We told you that too. We were like, you forced to hit. You're only strength 5. Like, is this gonna do anything? Like, what does this do?
It did nothing. I think I put in 2 wounds into a dreadnought and 3 wounds into a speeder.
But it felt good. It felt good rolling all the dice, though, right? Like all those dice.
But it was extremely good against both Tyranids and Sisters. The Vulture gunships killed both Repentia units first turn. So that that was game.
Don't take away the fact that rolling a million dice feels pretty goddamn good. And then you get your opponent that has T3 and you're like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about right there.
And also, I planned it a little bit against the Space Marine players. Like, if he deploys a little bit bad now, I can go in over his screen and shoot everything into his buff characters here. 43 strength 5 wounds could probably kill a character. With 3-up save. No, it did 3 wounds. It's like, damn.
So, Brad, are you more surprised? Brad, are you more surprised that Daniel's list was successful or that your Death Guard list sucks?
My Death Guard list is the shit. I love it.
So you're having fun with your Death Guard list too?
I'm actually playing in my first game a list that's very Carmona-esque. And I'm actually more afraid of it now after Carmona was talking about his list, because now I'm like, like constantly looking for shadows, like tricks, things that are going to pop out at me because I feel like the list has more things than I thought it could do. So now I'm terrified that it's going to do a bunch of weird shit. He's got me looking in the dark. So I think that there's like a lot of. I always want to feel. A lot of times I'd rather feel when I'm looking at my opponent that I have like really like things that I know are going to happen and I'm afraid of them more so than if I don't see everything coming. Those are the times when I feel like really confident about the matchup. That's when I'm worried because I'm like, oh, I'm missing something. And at least after we talked last week about that, I at least see more of the tricks than I would have saw before, which I'm very happy that we actually did that. So thanks, Carmona. You made it so it's going to be easier for me to play my first game. Yay!
And you became an adjective today. You can mark it down on your calendars. I was used as an adjective. My list is Carmona-like. There you go.
Exactly.
I don't know if it's positive. I don't know if it's negative. We're not making those calls here, but it is an adjective. Yeah. That one you can't argue with.
Carmona-esque.
So how did the two of you, both of you guys, have a long history of ETC, right? Which is by definition the team tournament, right? With the most teammates, right? It's 8 people plus a coach plus probably some guys who really wish they were on the team but they're not and they help out. And Daniel, you have experience as captain. Brad, you have experience as the captain's bitch. So as you guys are on these teams, I'm assuming that a lot of people come to you with list ideas and list suggestions. What do you guys do typically if you think the list is absolute trash in the beginning, but you don't want to say that to them because they might be John Willingham and you might, be walking on eggshells from an emotional.
I literally ask him if what are the identify what's in your. A lot of times I've been doing a lot, especially lately, is I do 2 things. One, I'll do the whole, because we talk about can it handle the 4 things we talk about, horde, height, really good save infantry, light vehicles, and then like Titanic type things. Can it handle all 4 of those? But then I'll actually make people, like, as they go through them, I'll be like, what's the battlefield role of each of those things? Like we talked a couple podcasts back, where we were talking about battlefield roles and stuff. If you basically can point out the fact that they have like a whole bunch of missing battlefield roles, that's a nicer way to go about doing it. You know what I mean? If you're looking at somebody's list and you're like, hey man, like literally 4 vehicles will just fuck up your army because you don't have anything that can deal with T7 kind of thing,
So you kind of grill them right away and just poke holes in it right away. You don't put it on the table. You don't test it out. You don't.
If it's super obvious, if you're missing complete and total things, yes.
Well, these are like pretty good players, right? I mean, anyone who's providing these.
Yeah, I know what I'm saying, but those are the first. That's like the first step. You know what I mean? As far as you're going. So step 1, you give the minimum requirements to be a competitive list? Yes or no?
Daniel, you know what I mean? Daniel, what's your step 1?
I'm super humble to list building. After losing 160-18 to Russia last ETC, and and our team thought their lists sucked. I'm super humble to list building, especially in a team environment, because it's like building a puzzle, right? So maybe that list that doesn't fill the battlefield roles Brad is talking about is a really good fit into the current meta and where you.
But in a team, you can definitely do that, Daniel, on that, because you can literally just skip certain things. Because in a team match, you can go, "Hey, I'm good against these 3 things, and I'm terrible against this 4th one." But we're in a team matchup, so keep being good against those other 3 things.
Yeah, exactly. So that's one thing. Also, I want to be humble towards the players, because I can think a list sucks, but if they can master it on the table, it's worth more than bringing a better list that is sort of objectively better. Because if they master the ingredients in their secret sauce, the sauce is awesome,
I would say there's 2 sides to that, though, Daniel. Would you agree that there's one side where forcing somebody to play a list that is really good, I don't know, like Gulliman and a bunch of Storm Ravens, and they don't want to play it, could result into really bad circumstances because they just don't want to play and that's not their style. So forcing someone to do that, that's one thing. And then there's what I typically refer to as the Ben Moley effect, where his special sauce, nobody's got that recipe figured out. And even though you look at it like it's, Hebrew, he's basically telling you, no, man, this is Aramaic. I know the old language. I got this shit going. So there's two ways on that, right?
Yeah. So for me, I don't want to push people. If I want them to change lists, I probably ask them to prove that what they are doing works. And if it doesn't work, then we can have a discussion about it. And I also try to plant seeds, like, maybe you should look into some of these cool models over here.
Inception.
And try some of that stuff. Yeah, exactly. Some Inception.
A little Leonardo DiCaprio. Got it.
I really want you, both of you, to be on the same team more, and then develop. So co-captains of Team Sweden.
I've offered to help Daniel out. He tells me
that Alan could just be like, here's the one problem I found in your list, and then Alan crumbles the list up and throws it in the garbage. It's trash.
So maybe you didn't hear about this.
Apparently we're having some double audio going on. People are saying about it.
Hate double audio.
Do we have two audio inputs by any wild chance for us? I guess it's Daniel and I.
Yep. Let me look into it. 1 sec.
But I would love to see that captaincy happen. Well, Daniel's like, listen, my friend, what you could possibly do is maybe look into this. And Alan's just over in the corner peeing on the guy's list, fucking handing it back. I thought you wanted my opinion of your list. I apologize.
I think you have to factor in player style a lot more than people do. I think back to the internet list conundrum that people take the best internet list and they don't win tournaments. It's because they don't understand the list and they don't necessarily enjoy that player style. And then I don't mean enjoy it like, oh, I like assault armies better than shooty armies. I mean,
Perfect.
there could be a lot of layers to enjoy a list. Like, do you like MSU? Do you like big guys? Do you like, how do you work with screens? Like when we're talking, for me, speed is number one in all lists I'm building right now. Move blocking is like, that's how I win the game.
It's funny you say that. I always agree with you on speed, and then I made a Death Guard list that is slower than the speed of smell.
Yeah.
It's not always required. You can make a list however it works.
Disagrees on speed a bit. So
yeah, that's true.
I don't necessarily think speed is a must take, because you could design a list with speed, but you can also design armies that just hold, right? Like we were talking about that conscript army. That's not a speed based army. I know you have the horses, but it's not a speed based army. My orc list last week's not a speed based army. It just takes the board.
I mean that list indirectly is a speed based army in the sense that first you have horses that you can't get through, then you have sort of horses you can't get through, then you have unkillable conscripts you can't get through, while I'm doing shenanigans on my objectives behind. So it's not speed per se, but it's a lot about movement blocking.
I would call it a wave army, wave movement blocking army. It's a little bit different. It's not speed,
because it's a lot of speed though. I mean, the horses are super fast.
But when I think about speed, I think about more MSU speed. I think about Harlequins. Like when you say a speed army,
Eldar in general. I mean, the new Drukhari book's going to be nasty. Actually, just was saying about that. I think the Drukhari book's going to be more Drukhari-esque than it's been in a long time. It's super fast raiders. It's glass cannon, super crazy stuff all over the place.
Yeah. And that's the only differentiation, right? If you say speed, like if you call that conscript horse army a speed army, what the hell do you call a Harlequin army? A crack army? Like,
super.
Like, yeah, like there's like, what are we talking like? Is it super Saiyan blue speed army? Like freaking, it's like you have to have like levels. So I call it.
I agree with you, but what I'm saying, speed is important in an army, not necessarily. Fast elements are important in an army. Not necessarily the entire army has to be fast.
Correct. Yeah, that's fine. I agree with that.
You do have to have those elements that can go get those objectives right away, though. Because, man, if you don't have at least some speed to engage in your army, you're just going to lose certain missions like Vital Intelligence, Sky. I mean, anything where you have to immediately take multiple objectives in the middle of the board, your army just has to have those elements, or you're just going to basically be playing under the gun the entire game because your opponent's just going
Vital
to.
intelligence, you should probably have some scout moves as well. So you can, if you start, you can get all the objectives and then move back and you say, you have to move up. I got the objectives, you know.
Yep. Yeah, I think the way you guys both approach the team aspect is kind of what I was expecting you guys to say. I do know that Brad has tested out things that he doesn't believe in at all. So I was surprised he didn't say that. He literally has gone, this list is terrible. I'll put it on the table.
Well, that's the thing is old Captain America, Greg Sparks, way back in the day, made me make a promise of every time anybody gives a list on the team, you have to at least try to put it on the board once to gauge it, no matter how stupid you think the idea is, because there might be something there. And that's the thing is that's how you come up with new ideas, though, because if I give you just a list that you guys think is just super stupid and you're like, well, as a whole, it's dumb, but 20% of this list gave me a new idea, you know, combination of this works really well in maybe an already existing list. So you can refine and harden the list into championship mode.
That's how Rose's list got built for the GSC. We were testing some crazy stuff, and then we were like, Zoanthropes are cool. And then we were like, why not take 12? You know? And then we were like, Zoanthropes are really cool. Why not make sure they never die? Let's just take like 200 dudes and surround them. So that's just kind of how that started. It was literally a Facebook chat of like ideas and other ideas.
And that's the thing is that if you always just take whatever the net list is and say that's the best list, and you don't keep refining, keep your own ideas coming, you're just not gonna get the best list, especially for you, because a lot of times whatever that internet list is might not be your play style. Like you were talking earlier, you know, when you quizzed Daniel on that, it's sometimes that's just not what you want. That's not how you play. Like if you gave me a list that's only big tanks, if it was even considered the best list, that's Eldar. Not really my style of play. I would not be optimized with that.
That's what you played with Eldar. You just played big tanks.
Yeah, and a bunch of idiot guys.
Brad was like, hey, my list is just 15 skimmer tanks. I auto get 29 points in this mission. He's like, do you want to just give me 29 and we can say you got 40 and we'll just go like do something else? I'm like, yeah, let's do that. That's fine. So, like, he didn't care. He's like, differential reasons, I just can't not get 29 points. It's like not possible.
Getting these. But I can't get any more though.
But no, you're right.
My entire ATC was 29 to 31 points every game. Doesn't matter if I slaughtered or not.
No matter how many Fire Raptors I can give my buddy Malave, he's not walking away with a W on that one.
I got pushed into playing Knights with Tau at one point in time.
Knights with Tau.
Worst army that I ever took to ETC.
That feels dirty. It's like too weird.
It just wasn't enough stuff.
Just doesn't.
I need more. I need MSU. At least I prefer MSU. How about that?
Wow,
we have more crap.
We got to the point where people are like literally posting lists in our chat thread. That's kind of interesting. That's awesome, actually. We should do that. We should have like a whole podcast where we like encourage people to write a list and then we give our opinion on that list right away.
Ooh, we'll do that next time.
Which is exactly what this podcast is saying don't do. This podcast literally says don't do that, and then we'll have a podcast where we just do that. We'll just be like, give me your list. I'll give you my first impressions.
Like all of the U.S. media does right now. We just contradict ourselves on every article we put out.
We could have call-ins. Like you can call us in. Like just message, phone call, Pajama Pants on Facebook, and we'll get you in the podcast. You can talk about your list. You can talk about your snooze. You can talk about snooze is what Daniel just put in his mouth. You can talk about noodling or snakes or whatever you'd like. We can have like a snakes AMA. So I think that's not a bad idea as well. Whenever I hear a list, oh wow, my audio just went crazy. Why did it go so high? That's weird. I was going to say, whenever I hear a new list, I typically tend to look up all of the strats. Like whenever Carmona's pretty famous for this. He'll call me with like a combination within a combination within a combination. And I'll be like, oh, let me go look up like all these different things, make sure it actually works. You know, like what?
He also uses every single one of the actual terms, and I'm the worst at that. I'm like, you mean the +1 to move, the +1 to hit, +1 to that strat? I have no idea what the actual name of it is.
Of the strats.
Like
+1 to wound is a strat.
You're
It's
like,
not
ooh, the
Veterans of Long War.
snaky, evil chaos mojo. You're like,
Yeah.
so that's advance in charge, right? You're like, stop telling me these weird names, man.
Yeah, I do. I also hate that too. I think either Tyler Cooley or Kareem or somebody on my side does that too, where they call me and they're like using the appropriate names of the strats and using the like instead of saying fight a third time or fight twice or whatever, they're like using the actual name, like vengeance is blissful or something. I'm like, what the hell? Like I use delightful agonies. What's that? That's the auto 6 or that's the 5+ feel no pain. I have no idea even what it is. I just say what it is. So.
Yeah, I consistently do that.
I memorize 0 names of things, just what it does. +1 to wound, that's what I call it. That one I know is vengeance, right? Is that vengeance?
I think that's Veterans of the Long
Oh
War.
shit! See, I don't even know what it's called, man. I thought that was like vengeance of something.
That would be something they play against you in Chaos. That'd be Vengeance of Cadia.
Oh, that's a good strat. Yeah, that's reroll wounds. That's the reroll wounds strat.
That's that you don't want to hear somebody saying that against you.
Oh, the worst book was me at LVO with sisters. I have freaking no clue what a single thing is called. I barely even know what they do. And I'm just like, oh, a character died? I have a strat that brings her back alive. Like, I'll bring her back in a second. I'll pay that CP. Oh, you know, I rolled a dice and I want to modify the roll. Oh, I can discard faith dice to modify that roll. I'm going to discard 2 faith dice and make that roll +2. And they're like, you know, I have no idea what these things are called. Zero freaking
I
clue.
still just love that. We talked about
Like,
this before.
Sarah-
I loved at LVO that every game you were learning more stuff about your army.
Oh,
Like, did you guys know that this?
It was
I
awesome.
could totally with Catherine. I could just
loved
make
it.
this +1.
No, I didn't have Catherine, but Catherine's the sneaky one. I wasn't good enough for her. You know, Daniel thinks that it's easy, but for me, it's very difficult. Catherine's got a proximity ability. You have to be within a certain range of Catherine to modify a dice roll. And I didn't have a unit for that. My whole army was like, push forward, do things. Don't know what Catherine does.
Shake and bake.
Also, the model wasn't released by LVO, so I would have to make my own, which I could have done.
I was just about to say, and that has stopped you when?
Never.
Yeah.
If I can make a Silent King out of nothing in 2 hours, I can make.
I don't think
can
I've
make a
ever been
Catherine.
more mesmerized by you making a Silent King. I mean, also there was alcohol involved for me, but Alan literally put down, this is a real thing. He grabbed a base and I felt like he just did magic on the table because he didn't have anything but a Silent King sized base. And it's like, got to make this Silent King. When? By tonight so we can play it tomorrow morning. I'm like, I don't understand what's happening. And he's just like effectively just grabbing shit out of the trash can, fucking welding it onto this base.
Dingo.
I'm like,
Dingo bet me I couldn't do it, or he said he'd give you $5. Did you get that $5?
that is true. He still owes me that.
Get that
Son of a
$5.
bitch.
Get that-
no,
get that
he
$5.
sent it to me. He put it on my
Okay.
Patreon.
All right. I'm making sure.
Oh,
I'm making
man.
sure you got it though. That's important. That's important to me that you getting the $5.
Phew.
Daniel,
It was
when's your next play session? You know, virtual play
I'm
session, of course.
playing the quarterfinals in our league on Sunday with the Necron list.
Necrons versus
I-
conscripts. I mean,
No. I'm playing Necrons.
oh,
in
that
the league.
terrible army. Like you
Yeah.
decided to play a Codex Necrons and go, OBSEC, overrated.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm playing Slaanesh big guys. So I really shouldn't win that game.
Oh, you're gonna get crushed.
Yeah.
Oh, the thing is they don't have flies. You can move like the fuck out of that.
No, the thing
Especially
is,
if you're
is
first.
I mean, if I do the math on it, like 3 big guys doesn't kill a unit of scarabs really, because they strike, they kill like 3. I get 1 back, kill 3, get 1 back, kill 3, get 1 back. 3 scarabs left. They move out. I go in with a new unit. Just So maybe it could work if I can start and push them back into their deployment.
Yeah,
and
that's the one
lock
thing
up the
that I
big guys,
don't like
maybe.
against that list is just because it's everybody's walking.
Is
So
the
you
person
can-
you're playing one of the guys from the Games Workshop store where they're showing them the starter box? Come this way. Let me show you what models. Let me show you what models come in this starter set. What is this red
That's
stick?
why I have so many armies. I just stand there and play for pinks.
Yeah, just play for pigs. Yo, bro, I don't want your army. I want your red stick. Can I get your red measuring stick? Where'd those go, by the way? I missed those. I only have like one somewhere.
They all went to Dragon's Lair, our gaming club in Stockholm. They had like 40 of them or something.
Oh, I have to buy a ticket to Sweden now. Got to go buy those. I'm going to walk in and be like, I'm going to give you $1,000 for just your red sticks, please. Thank you.
Your red sticks.
Just your red sticks. That's all I need. I really appreciate your time.
It's an excellent buy.
Dude, they would be
very confused at what happened here.
There was this dude. I would love it if he was a viewer. That'd be sick as hell. There was this dude like 4 years ago at LVO who, not 4 years ago, that's too much, maybe 3 years ago. At LVL, he came, he had a demon army. And he had like 87, not 87, a lot of red sticks at exactly 9 inches. So all of his reserves, he was making these like sunburst shapes around my units to show him where he could put his guys. But they were all the red stick from Games Workshop cut at 9, like every single one. And I'm just like looking at this guy. I'm like, man, how did you get so many of these? He's like, oh yeah, see, saved money. I didn't have to buy a template. I'm like, okay, all right. Do you want me to get you a sandwich? Like, are you hungry?
Are you okay?
Like, he literally had like 50 of them. I was like, whoa. So, that was pretty cool. And then when I was playing Sisters, I wish I had like the same amount, because that would have been awesome for my Zephyrim and Seraphim to come in and know exactly where I could put them.
Punch, pew, pew.
Yeah.
Go to Subway, Carmona.
Oh my God, dude. If you've ever watched one of our videos, or if you're watching one of our videos for the first time, 1 week ago, I think like the 7th of Feb or something like that, go watch that video. At the end, dude, Carmona just lays this egg on this podcast, and like I could not believe what I was hearing. So feel free to go back and evaluate poor life decisions by
what are you talking about? He's been sponsored by fucking Subway.
By living vicariously through the
fine
one
cuisine, and then it's high cuisine.
I liked one of our chat thread was like, who's this dude, and like what'd they do with Jared? It was pretty good. Oh man,
Corey was jumping all over that one. That was fantastic.
I died. I was dying from that one. Really was. But yeah, I think, if you guys think of an interesting idea while we're still in COVID on what to cover, we'd love to hear about it and put it in the chat thread. I think we have some funny ones about,
I'd like to do that listing. I'm not going to lie.
That was kind of funny. It was mainly a joke, because like we're literally.
I still want to do it. I want to see. I'm curious also to what people are playing. Tell you the truth, you know what I mean? Just because we.
I also think we will have very different approaches to commenting on lists. So
yes, I will. Daniel will be very subtle. I'll be trying to go over whether it has what I think are the qualifications, and Alan will be punching his screen.
All right, that's fine. We'll do it. All right. So 1 week from today, we're gonna have a live stream where we evaluate lists. You'll be able to post the list in the comment. We'll give you on screen. We're not gonna prep shit. I'm not taking anyone's list. If you email me your list, I'm literally going to ignore it when it posts on the chat thread. I'm not allowing anyone to talk about it. I will mute Brad's mic if he tries to. So it's all live on the spot. I'm curious how that will run. I'm curious if, like, between the three of us, will we encounter a unit that we don't know about? Like, we just have no feedback. We're just like, I don't even know what that does. I don't think it's possible. Is it possible?
Because I would say some Forge World shit, but Dan has actually been diving into that.
I know everything Forge World, so there's no way they're bringing up anything Forge World for sure. That one I got covered. But like I might not know, like, what would I not know? I'm trying to think. Like dumb units, like just units that are dumb.
Yeah, these extra units from like Black Fortress or whatever, Geller Pox units.
All right. So we will give a prize away to a viewer who stumps us the
already
best.
Thrown the gauntlet down. He's like,
don't fall for it, viewers. It's just a lie.
Yeah, we will give a prize to the viewers. Whoever stumps us the best will get a prize of some kind from GG. We'll send it out to you guys. It's got to be live. No one can provide it beforehand. You got to join the cast live either on YouTube or on Facebook.
And it can't be like, also, don't be trying to throw something in from like Rogue Traders first edition.
Yeah, no. If it's clearly bullshit, then we're not going to give you the prize. So it's going to be the person who does it in the best way.
Elusidian Starstride.
Yeah,
what do you know about that?
Hey, I have a 2nd edition army squats codex that I really need you guys to evaluate. The Rogue Rider I think he's really cool, but I kind of want to take the gyrocopter. What do
we'll
you
give
guys
a full
think?
This breakdown.
No.
You're like, look, man, I don't think the thud gun's as good as the sustained fire dice. Come on.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that'd be a fun podcast. We'll do that next week. And I'm looking forward to seeing if we get
Friday afternoon. I'm going to be just chatting. I'm doing a new session where I'm just going to sit and talk about stuff, and it'll be on GG Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube this Friday.
And the name of that show is going to be Brad is a Squat, brought to you by GG.
Yeah, I mean, I feel that everybody already knows that.
I just saw Richard's post. I was like, that's good. I like it. We just have that. We just keep. That's one race that I wish did come back. I own 57 original squat models.
I threw 60 metal squats when I was cleaning up here.
What do you mean you threw them?
In the trash can.
Why?
Because I had so much stuff, I had to get rid of it.
You got rid of metal squats? You know that you could have sold those for like reasonable money.
You're gonna give them to your good friends that also play this game, but you're like, I would rather see them burn.
Yeah, why would you throw away metal squats? That's the dumbest shit I ever heard.
Threw out 10 first edition Terminators.
Yeah, that's fine, but the metal squats, no.
You know, the ones with the high shoulders.
Yeah.
So ugly.
No, metal squats and metal chaos dwarves are very expensive on eBay. So like
I would love to have those.
Like
chaos dwarves are amazing.
Yeah, I mean Brad could sell those and pay like all of his bills for 4 months, like easily.
Dude, I could give so many less handies in the backyard. I totally give $4.3 a month.
How much is a handy nowadays? I love that Dave Chappelle joke where he's in Baltimore or somewhere and just the ugliest crackhead ever comes in and they're like, he's describing her and it's like just crust and all kinds of stuff. You gotta go look it up. It's hilarious. But he basically negotiates. Just like, I'll blah 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 for $5 and then he's like, ugh, get out of it. 2. It's like one of my favorite jokes. Chappelle, he's the man. So
I guess you guys have seen talking about handies, seen Silicon Valley when they do the calculation on if girth is a factor.
Yeah.
Silicon Valley, the best character in my opinion is Jared. I love when his car gets stuck in the storage container and he gets put on a boat and like he's just gone. like he just gets deported basically. That made me crack up. I missed that show. It's a good show. But I'm actually really excited now about these lists. We should see, and also all three of us are going to have different input, so it's going to be kind of funny. And we're going to do exactly what we said not to do on this channel, which is, judge a list too quickly.
Well, just straight up. Ugh.
So
all of the things, some of the stuff.
It's going to be interesting stuff. I'm anticipating. We're gonna have some trolls like Corey who come in with some crazy lists, but then I'm also anticipating like a ton of like Dark Angels advice. This is basically like a free list session. Like whoever gets in can have like a free analysis of their list. 10 Black Knights. Is that like a new Chris Rock movie? Like what is that about?
No, it's something you can put in DA. They can literally do the Harlequin hit and leave strat.
Yeah. So strong. It's insanely strong.
I think Ravenwing are actually way stronger than the Terminator Inner Circle is. It's faster. It has more tricks. And most of the damage and everything's going for that. It's easy to stay away from 5-inch move guys. It's not easy to stay away from guys that go, I can move, yes.
Where is Brandon Valley when you need him?
Yes, he was the bike king.
He's my bike king. So like when I think of 40K bikes, I think of, oh yeah, Martin Lawrence. That's right. My bad. Yeah.
It's very interesting that Vikings they look a lot like Vikings, Beard, face tattoos. It's the same.
You still don't have a face tattoo. I gotta send these to you.
Why? Sometimes you need a face
tattoo.
Okay,
which one do you want?
I cut the beard anyway, so it's too late.
Yeah, I don't like your beard cutting, by the way. I was gonna tell you that. So this is like a long arm face.
He's trying to look like a Swedish model over here. I mean, we wanted a Viking, not a model.
We
don't want you to fucking hit us with fucking blue steel.
Oh, dude, if I send you if I send you this one, will you cut out the middle part here, the feather part, and just put it like on your face? But like the eagle has to come over your forehead. You know what? Screw it. Next week on the channel.
It's good if you send it to me with your address, so I can resend the squigs to you.
Don't get my hopes up just to ruin my life.
I'm still bummed that you just said you threw away a bunch of fucking chaos dwarves and squats, you motherfucker.
Yeah. But he keeps my squigs.
I'm sad about this. You fucking killed my comrades,
I need shelf
family.
space for Alan squigs, but these really expensive models, they can get thrown away.
I don't throw away my friend's stuff, I keep it.
I appreciate that. I do.
Apparently, Daniel's doing pretty well in Sweden, guys. He's just sitting around his fireplace throwing money in like fucking Scrooge McDuck. Just chilling out.
I mean, I got a lot of models too, but you don't see me throwing any of them away.
That hurts.
Oh, wait a minute. Have I thrown any of my models away? Maybe.
You better not fucking drive over there. I mean, I'll have somebody drive me, but whatever. You know what I'll do.
I would get you the models, Brad. I would. I promise. They would get passed down to you for sure.
Yes, that's what I like to hear.
So
I get the hand-me-downs. I'm the youngest child. I'm the youngest child ever.
So then I got you right, Brad? This Friday, you're going to do a cast where you just talk about 40K. I'm going to be a viewer and listen.
Yeah,
and listen.
Talk about nonsense.
Curious.
I might actually talk. I'm going to spoil the shit out of some stuff. I might actually watch WandaVision real early and just fucking ruin it for everybody.
I think it's going to be. Is it an hour-long episode? I heard the episodes are getting longer, which I'm waiting.
Yeah,
I'm waiting
Wanda,
for
by
all
the way,
of them.
we're gonna end on that because WandaVision started off. I did not like the first 2 episodes, and then really cranked it up, and I'm really loving it now.
I haven't watched any of it.
Talking about now?
There's a new show. It's called
on,
WandaVision on Disney, and it's about the Scarlet Witch character from Avengers and Vision. So
Vision.
yeah,
Wanda Maximoff and Vision.
Yeah, Wanda
WandaVision.
Maximoff is Magneto's daughter, Quicksilver's sister. So yeah, it's a good show. I'm letting them stack up right now.
That is true.
but it's
I'm
good.
also I forgot to tell you guys this. I'm painting a model this Friday on stream. Late at night.
That's
I'm
weird.
gonna stay up and watch that. It's more exciting than the Super Bowl.
Tom Brady.
So I'm holy crapping that.
Per contract, we have to mention noodling. Be sure to schedule.
Mesh up properly before you go noodling.
Yeah, you
Also,
gotta.
Daniel, what do you think your third most poisonous snake is?
We're not talking about snakes until we see your snake. Your snake has to be viewed.
That's the new rule. We
That's
need
the
a
new
picture
rule.
and a name.
It's a new rule. Yep.
A
We
picture
got
and a
2
name.
rules now, Brad.
The name of
we
the
need
snake is Nagini from Harry Potter.
we need a picture of your snake in order to talk about your snake. That's one rule. The second rule is if you quote Mike Tyson, you have to do it in his voice. Those are the 2 rules of the cast right now. And per contract, noodling,
Everybody got plans
mesh
to
up.
in the face?
Yeah, see, there you go. I like it. That's good. So you can quote him as long as you say it. And as far as noodling goes, I'm really excited because I swear on everything that we are going to have a podcast where we go noodling. That's going to be a video on YouTube. I'm making this happen. I
have a question.
if
about
I have to
noodling, though.
fly
do you go in
Brad-
with your power? Do you go in with your main hand, or you go in with your offhand so you can grab? With
No,
your
you
main
go
hand?
you go in with your main hand. Whatever your strongest
your main
fingers.
hand,
Yeah,
just
you have
power
to
it
have your
up?
you have to have your strongest fingers inside.
Strong hand.
Yeah, because that's really what holds it, right? So you try to get in the mouth and through the gill or through behind the thing, and that's really what's holding it. Your other hand is supporting, but this hand has to be real strong. Otherwise, you'll lose the. And you also have to like really prepare yourself for the bite because.
The thing about noodling is I don't get it when I could just use a fishing pole. It just seems so much better than just.
Haven't you ever just wanted to go man on man with like a bear and fight it? This is like going man on man with a giant fish. It's like 100-pound fish. It's gonna bite your finger off clean if you don't wear the right material. So, I mean, for you it might be a little challenging because the water's a little deep. So for you, it'll even be like a little bit of it'll be like a breath ability. You have to get down deep in the trap and you have to get it to bite you, and it's gonna see those sausage fingers of yours. It's gonna be like, what the hell is this little hobbit doing in here? The fuck is this shit? And then when you pull it out,
T-Rex arms, it's gonna fucking bite all the way down to my shoulder. My arm's only a fucking foot long.
No, it can't get past those wrists of yours. You got some fat wrists. Got some cankle ass motherfucking wrists on your body, so you'll be fine. There's no fish in the world that's gonna eat. If it eats that, it's eating your whole body. It's just taking it all. So
it's old man in the sea. I'm just gonna get smashed by that whale. Exactly. Why use a fishing pole if I could use a stick of dynamite?
That's illegal. You can't be using sticks of dynamite. That hurts other fishies. We're just taking giant catfish.
And we're punching him. We're doing One Punch Man right in the face.
Not next week because we have to provide feedback to our audiences on their lists. So please get on and provide lists, and we will do a whole session where we evaluate lists in rapid fire mode. Like, I'm not going to allow Brad to talk 6 years about like what he thinks. So we're going to interrupt
on
him
one unit.
Yeah, yeah. So we're not doing that. This is rapid fire feedback, but we are going to have a future podcast, and this one will be a after hours podcast because I do work during the day, probably a Friday. We're going to have a 1 hour session where we talk about some topic, but everybody takes a shot whenever Daniel's camera freezes or resizes. And we see if we're alive.
I don't.
We see if we're alive after an hour. We'll see if we're alive. Like that's going to be the other session.
I don't know if I can drink that.
I don't experience this. Can I still drink or?
Daniel, you can just drink nonstop.
If you see us drink, you have to drink.
Yeah, if you see us drink, you have to drink. That's how we'll do it.
I feel at the end you'll just turn off the camera. I can't see you anymore.
So we'll just I'll get a bottle or two. I don't know how many you'll take, and we're gonna have to do that. Brad can do wine because he's a beach, and we'll go from there. How's that sound?
Well, then.
You excited?
I'm in. I fear for my life, but yes.
All right. So, guys, if you guys like the show, please sub to the channel on YouTube. It really helps us out getting the word out there that we exist, and we're talking about 40K. Obviously, when tournaments start going and stuff starts happening, there'll be more pointed content. But tune in next week on Tuesday at noon Central Time, or 1 Eastern Fake Time, or 7 o'clock Swedish awesome time. And provide your army list. And we will
remember it's GMT also.
GMT time.
As in today when I posted it up and I said we are going 1:15 Allen time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. But feel free to join us next week, and then also Brad this week on Friday, doing some things and saying some stuff. So, and Daniel's frozen again. Take a shot.
Hold on. Dance.